This is 7 National News, and in our top story, the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, has received President Mahinda Rajapaksa of Sri Lanka and his accompanying delegation at Zabil Palace. During the meeting, the ruler of Dubai and the Sri Lankan President reviewed bilateral relations between the UAE and Sri Lanka, as well as broadening cooperation, bridges and joint investment, especially in the tourism sector. At the meeting, the Sri Lankan President hailed the cultural renaissance being witnessed by the UAE in all domains and expressed his country's desire to build investment partnerships with the UAE in order to develop tourism sector. And the UAE Vice President, Prime Minister and ruler of Dubai, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, also received President Macky Sall of Senegal and a ministerial delegation accompanying him. Sheikh Mohammed and the visiting president exchanged talks about a number of topics related to energy issues and bilateral relations between the UAE and Senegal. The Senegalese president praised the development achieved by the UAE in various fields and also expressed his country's desire to benefit from the expertise of the UAE in the sector of infrastructure, especially in terms of the expansion of the Senegalese port of Dakar, which is operated and managed by DP World, in addition to the development of roads and transport networks in Senegal. Members of the Federal National Council approved 52 articles of the 77-article new draft law on child rights and will continue reviewing the remaining articles. Under a new draft law on child rights, child abusers and viewers of child sex images on the web will face tough penalties in the UAE. The bill will impose tough penalties, especially in cases of abuse by persons in a position of trust, authority or influence over the child, including family members, guardians or teachers, or abuse of particularly vulnerable children, mainly those with a physical or mental disability. Additionally, the law states that abusers who exploit children in filming pornographic materials, production, publishing, distribution or facilitating access to these pornographic materials by any means will face a minimum jail term of 10 years. The draft law to protect children, initially called Wadima's Law, in memory of the 8-year-old girl who was starved and tortured to death by her father and his girlfriend, will now be known as the Law on Child Rights, after Federal National Council members voted by a massive majority to change the name. Intervention techniques can be the most effective in the prevention of non-communicable diseases. That's according to medical experts gathered at the first Arabian Gulf Public Health Conference that was held in Abu Dhabi. The conference was attended by His Excellency Sheikh Nahyan bin Mubarak Al Nahyan, UAE Minister of Culture, Youth and Community Development. Organised by the Research Triangle Institute, over 300 international and regional scientists and medical specialists participated in the two-day conference that took place at the Emirates Centre for Strategic Studies and Research, which was held under the theme of Interventions for a Healthier Future. Panelists led the discussion on methods of improving prevention and treatment of non-communicable diseases. Experts added that the risk of death from non-communicable diseases, such as cardiovascular and diabetes in particular, is among the highest in the Arabian Gulf region. According to the organisers, the forum should allow an exchange of expertise among the health specialists, which will eventually provide ways of improving the quality of healthcare in the region.
We looked at the high priority areas for chronic diseases within the Arabian Gulf area, and we identified cardiovascular disease as one, and obesity, diabetes, and we looked at those, and those we're going to be focusing on. And also what we noticed the lack of proper public health campaigns. Awareness is really lacking. So you do all sorts of public health campaigns, but are they effective? So you need to do effective ones rather than just sporadic ones. So this is the fourth focus that we're going to do. Just really find effective public health mass media campaigns to create awareness of the issues, the improvement ways, and how even to prevent it from the start.
Among the speakers at the conference was Professor Kenneth Labreche, Senior Fellow at RTI International, who stated that intervention techniques that include improvement in the quality of training for physicians through interactive learning lessons, along with the guidelines for improving lifestyle choices, can be more effective as opposed to traditional control practices.
In fact, the United Nations in 2011 noted that non-communicable diseases, primarily heart disease and stroke, are now an international issue and the #1 international killer. So I'm going to be talking about techniques that we have used to improve the delivery of preventive care to children, because this is a disease that actually starts very early, as well as improving the care that patients receive when they are hospitalized with heart disease or stroke, both acute treatment as well as treatments to prevent a recurrence. About 2/3 of heart attacks occur in patients that have already had one. And so that can be reduced by at least half by the therapies that we already know about. We have a great deal of knowledge that needs to be applied. And so I'm going to talk about techniques so that we can improve the delivery of the care that we already know about. Research is very important, but delivery is also extremely important. And so we need a balance between those two.
As the GCC countries prepare for large-scale construction projects as a result of Expo 2020 and the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar, health and safety at workplace was given particular importance during this year's Intersec. A seminar on health and safety policies and procedures was led by the Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, IOSH, on the sidelines of the Safety and Security trade show Intersec that was held earlier in the week. Jan Gimmel, CEO of IOSH, led the seminar, which focused on raising awareness about the value of a safe work environment, along with the social responsibility of the companies in understanding the health implications with regards to noise exposure in the workplace. According to the CEO, safety by design is critical for any project, adding that they will be working with the authorities to ensure that sufficient focus will be given to health and safety during the planning stages of the major projects ahead of the Expo 2020.
This part of the world, it's an exciting place. I mean, there's so much growth going on. And when there's a lot of growth, and particularly construction growth, that always leads to a health and safety challenge. And for me, there are three key areas that are very important. One is, if all these things are going to work, is first of all, it's important to look at the regulatory framework. It's something that's very, very important. And our members here in the Middle East have been working, and particularly here in the UAE, have been working with the authorities to look at that, particularly around in Abu Dhabi. But there's a lot of other issues. Certainly the experience that our members can bring in supporting some of the developments. And I'm absolutely confident. And by the way, congratulations on winning the Expo 2020, because I think it's one of those really high-profile events where another key area of health and safety that's really important, because it reflects and it gives a reputation not only to brands around business, but also big global events. There's a lot of reputational issues involved. That's absolutely the key thing, is to get the regulatory framework. It's important to get some of the values set by setting some really ambitious goals for the project, and then to make sure it's supported by having the practitioners who bring the skills and knowledge and competence.
And finally, in the bulletin, Sharjah is set to have its first ever water park as the Sharjah Investment and Development Authority, Shuruk, revealed the features of the much-awaited Al Muntaza Amusement and Water Park, which was formerly known as Al Jazeera Park. The announcement came during a press conference, which is also attended by Her Excellency Sheikha Budur bin Sultan Al Qasimi, chairperson of Shuruk, where the details of the new project were revealed. Located on the Al Khan Lagoon and opposite the Sharjah Central Market, the 126,000 square metre amusement and water park is expected to be operational by February and will join Al Qasbah, Al Majaz waterfront and the heart of Sharjah as another tourist landmark of the Emirate. The former Al Jazeera Park was one of the oldest parks in the country, built 30 years ago, and was closed in 2012 to be redeveloped by the authorities and renamed as Al Muntaza Park, which means picnic in Arabic. According to the officials, the new family attraction will be a great contribution to the development of tourism in Sharjah and will complement landmarks in other Emirates.
Yes, the Emirates is going to be the leader when it comes to tourism in the whole region, and because of those destinations, it surely makes us proud about what is happening in the Emirates. Today, if you are in Sharjah, Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah or Fujairah, all of those areas are entertainment, added value to every tourist that is coming to any of the 7 Emirates. So we're very happy. We believe that they all complement to each other. Everybody serves a different thing. We try to serve a family here, a father, a mother, and a kids that will truly enjoy the experience of this park. We're not trying to create extreme sport, but we're trying to create a quality of time enjoying it in Al Muntaza.
The park is divided into 3 sections, with the first being the 26,000 square metre water park, followed by the green areas for picnics and events, and a leisure park which will have electronic games, kart racing and mini football grounds. The water park is expected to be the first section that will be open to the public and will be priced at 120 dirhams for adults, while 75 dirhams for children that are around 80 to 120 centimetres tall.
Well, the water park, it's a traditional water park in the modern world. We have a big lazy river. that surrounds this island. On the island, we have the interactive play structure, which is the bucket that keeps tipping over and making noise, which is good. We have a toddler's pool, which will only be for 2-year-old, 1-year-old toddlers and families. We have an adult pool, which will be for adults, which is a little bit deeper water. And we have 2 slide towers. One will be a tube slide tower where you sit on a tube and go around. The other one is a body slide, kind of a high thrill slide. By summer, we'll have a ladies' day or evening. Well, depends on what the demand is. During normal operating hours, we're going to encourage people to dress somewhat conservatively, but we're a modern water park. We're going to handle it like you see it handled in Dubai and Abu Dhabi. If there's something that's not tasteful, we'll talk to the guests.